One of my top road trip tips is locking up your suitcases, backpacks in the trunk of a car or SUV, whatever you rent. Make sure it has one of these covers to cover anything from anyone's view through the window. So one of the things that we bought, well, two things, this wire, which really comes in handy, and just a number code lock. So most cars have, like most vehicles have a little latch in the trunk where you can run the wire through the handles of your luggage and the handles of your backpacks and lock it all up. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. So these are the little latches I'm talking about, and they're on each side of the trunk in pretty much most modern vehicles. Just run the wire through. And it's good if it's pretty tight too, because then no one can move your stuff around if they do open your trunk and try to like maneuver things and open it up. Yeah, just lock it and it's all tied in. Pretty good. So a lot of times when you're traveling, if you drive to your next destination, you might not be able to check into your next hotel or Airbnb until 3 p.m. And if you get there at 11 a.m., you've got to leave all your stuff in the vehicle for like 4 hours in some place that you don't know. Definitely get you these if you're doing road trips.
We have stopped to get some coffee, a little muffin, and some water, and it's time to get on the road. We have a long drive day all the way down to
London.
It's about 4 hours. We're gonna have to stop and have lunch at some point, stop and give this car a wash because we turn in our rental car when we get there. It's gonna be a busy day. We have to drive down there, turn in the rental car at the airport, and then get ourselves and all of our stuff from the airport into town into our Airbnb. But in the meantime, let's start a podcast and get on the road, huh?
Let's do it.
Finally made it to London, and it's time to return our rental car. This time we rented with Hertz and returned it back at London Heathrow Airport. Unfortunately, we have to say that we had a pretty awful experience at this particular Hertz and can't recommend them at all. All we'll say is be sure that when you rent a car, you take lots of photo and video. Make sure they're time-stamped from before you ever drive off the lot, because we did this and it saved us a lot of money and a lot of headache. But after returning our car, we checked into our Airbnb in London. We got some good downtime, some rest, and we refreshed the next morning for our first full day out in London, beginning with Sunday service at Westminster Abbey.
We've just finished service. We went to the 10 a.m. service at Westminster Abbey. I can't believe we got to go to actual church service there. That was really neat. We did the prayer service, so it was just a couple of songs, but mostly a lot of step and repeat prayers. Really gorgeous and totally free. So that was an awesome tip. If you want to go in for free and you don't mind sitting through a Christian service, do that. Anyway, now it is time to sort of walk around the Palace of Westminster, which is the Parliament building here. I don't think they do tours on Sunday, so we'll probably just see the outside. We'll see what you can see of Big Ben. It's under construction. You can only see one clock face, but we'll look at that. Eventually find some lunch before heading over to the Natural History Museum, and then eventually having dinner with our friend Jerome. He has a YouTube channel which we'll link below, and that's going to be a full day for us. So come along and we'll see what all we find.
But it is sunny, clear skies, and 90 degrees Fahrenheit today here in London, England.
Praise the Lord.
We're excited about it. I think I've kind of adapted to like the colder, rainy England weather lately, and it's like very hot for us walking around. So I'm excited to be sitting down in the shade in this park because it is like 20 degrees Fahrenheit cooler.
If y'all see me wearing this same black dress with a little neck scarf, that's because it's the only warm weather outfit I have. Because after this, we're Iceland, we're Norway, we're Scandinavia.
Cold
it's gonna be
countries.
cold. So this is all I have. So judge if you want, but I've been washing it, and I'm gonna wear it every day.
Made it over to the Natural History Museum, which happens to be free. You can donate if you want to get in, but it's free to the public. And there are so many things here, from dinosaurs to exhibits about the human body to crystals and stones and gems. There's probably anything here that you'd be interested in. We've been making our way through the dinosaurs, the human body exhibits, and now we're gonna make our way over to the crystals and gems, and then we're gonna head back to our Airbnb to settle down for about an hour before we meet up with our friends Jerome.
Okay, so look who I found, just waiting for us in the underground. This is our friend Jerome, which we mentioned before. We'll link his channel below from ohitsROME. Yes. So, we met him back last year in Italy on our Vespa trip, and we've become friends and just traveled the world together ever since. He recently came and hung out with us in Dallas.
Yes.
And along with Maggie and Brian, who you'll know. And now we're gonna grab some dinner and just hang out.
So we're going to this place called Box Park, which is kind of like a place that has a ton of these shipping containers that has been created to like have a whole bunch of different like little shops. There's an ice cream place down here. Once I saw there was like an oxygen bar like randomly here, but it's super trendy. Like I feel kind of old here, but kind of.
We're both 30 plus, so
we're 30 plus.
we'll leave it at that. But let's go. So we've just finished dinner at, what was it called?
Rainbow.
At Rainbow at the Box Park here in Shoreditch, and I had this like vegetarian sort of pumpkin and sweet potato like Asian burrito. Delicious. What did you have?
I got a 6 gyoza rice box that had like 3 different types of gyoza, which is like a dumpling. So one with chicken, one with shrimp, and then one with pork.
Okay.
So good.
Awesome. It was super duper fun, although I will say it is like hopping. There's live music, there's people, there's drinking, there's dancing, there's a lot happening. So if that's not your scene, maybe skip it. But if it is like the spot.
It's definitely.
Yeah. After dinner, we just did a little strolling around the neighborhood, and we decided it was time for drinks. And we were heading to one place, but stopped by this place called Bottles because it was too cute to pass up. So I got myself a glass of some rosé champagne. It's delicious.
I got a Sauvignon Blanc.
And then Jordan, our cameraman, got a Cabernet Sauvignon. So everybody's got a little something different. I think so far it's all delicious, and I'd say we recommend this spot, yeah?
I do. We're sitting in this like corner seat. It's very quaint and cute. I would say Martha Stewart would like approve.
Yes.
It's very Martha Stewart, like the table scene, I would say.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. So cheers. Cheers.
right, it is finally our last day of our UK road trip, and it's our final day in London, England, and we have a very, very fun day planned.
Really big day. I have so many tickets in my hands. We went for the Royal Day Out ticket of Buckingham Palace, meaning we are going to see the Queen's Gallery, the staterooms, the Mews, which are the horses and carriages, the gardens, I think. It's going to be a full afternoon of all things royal, all things QE2.
It's your cup of tea, right?
It is a little bit. It kind of is. So let's go see what there is in there. So we finished up at the Queen's Gallery and walked just around the corner to the Royal Mews. I'm not sure what the word mews actually means, but I do know that it is home to the horse stables and the carriages and the motor cars, all of which are used to transport the Queen, the royal family, dignitaries, things like that. So you can see all kinds of carriages that are still in use today, and cars, and even a couple of horses, one of which, named Shadow, was super cute that we just saw as we walked in. So we're gonna check them all out and see what's in the mews. We have ended our royal day out here at Buckingham Palace. We'd give the day's experiences mixed reviews. On the one hand, I loved strolling the gorgeous staterooms.
And I enjoyed viewing Leonardo da Vinci's drawings at the Queen's Gallery. But we both felt a little disappointed at the Mews.
If you come for a visit, be sure to bring all your patience. You will need it to survive the crowds.
Oh, and never take photos of trees near the palace. You will be yelled at by security.
The end of today also brings us to the end of our time in England and our British road trip altogether. We have had an absolute blast and can't believe all we fit into these 3 weeks.
We drove over 1,900 miles, walked 184,000 steps, slept in 11 different beds, and visited 20 different towns. If you want to know how much this adventure cost, stick around till the end of this video for a detailed breakdown of exactly what we spent.
We have taken gorgeous country walks in the Cotswolds, admired the beauty of the Scottish Highlands, saw ancient Roman baths and standing stones, and even visited several of QE2's properties all over the UK.
We spent time with friends and even made some new ones.
But now, we're ready for a new adventure. We head out tomorrow for Ireland. But if you want to see everything we did in Britain, be sure to check out our entire series linked below. See you soon as we keep going places.